Hi, welcome to Party Food Hero. I'm Aaron. Today we're going to be making a jalapeno cheddar bread. Now, I'm no bread maker, so I don't really, not good at making bread. This is actually the first time I ever made bread from scratch. I have a bread maker machine that I've made bread in before, delicious, great, but it's the first time I made it from scratch. If I can make bread, you can make bread. It turned out delicious. It's great on its own. It's even more amazing when you turn it into a grilled cheese sandwich. Oh, so good, so good. Jalapeno cheddar bread, let's go check it out. All right, so the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna cut the stem off of your jalapeno, and then you're gonna cut it in half. And I'm trying to get the best angle for the camera, whatever. And then you're gonna remove all the seeds and the innards from those jalapenos. And then you're just gonna dice these up just like this. Try and get them kind of similar size, but it's not crucial. But yeah, just a nice rough dice. And then we are on to the next step. We are gonna add in our bread flour. And the reason you wanna use bread flour is bread flour has more protein in it, which makes for better gluten and better bread. So make sure you're using bread flour when you make this. And then I added in some salt and then the jalapeños. And then I just do a little rough mixing of all that before we toss in some cheddar cheese. And then we're putting in a lot of cheddar cheese because it is cheddar jalapeno bread. So you want to make sure you can taste that delicious cheese as you're biting into this bread. And so you're just going to mix that all up together. And then we are going to do the next part right now. So in a separate, larger mixing bowl, you're going to add in your warm water. And then you're going to grab your instant yeast. Make sure you're doing the instant yeast. Gonna put that in there and just let it sit in there. And then you're gonna dump in the other mixture that we just made, and then you're just gonna mix that all together until it looks a little like this. And once it's all mixed, you're gonna cover it with a towel, put it somewhere warm for 1 hour. Then after an hour, you are going to take the towel off and you're just gonna kind of fold the dough into itself a few times. And then we're gonna let it proof for another 30 minutes after we do this. So I'm gonna put the towel back on and let her proof. And once that 30 minutes is up, you're gonna take some of your bread flour and you are just going to sprinkle a little bit on your work surface. I found out I should have put a lot more than that. So put more than that. And if you start working with it and realizing you should have put more, then put a little bit more on there. So you're gonna dump this dough onto your work surface and then kind of just fold it into itself again. And then you're gonna put it on some parchment paper. So just get it out of there and then kind of fold it into itself. You'll see what I'm talking about. And then we're gonna put that on some parchment paper to then put into our little Dutch oven that we got. So just like this. And so you can see that I need to use a little bit more flour than originally thought. So don't be afraid to just put a little bit more flour if it's getting too sticky like I have it on there. And just get it so it's not just enough flour so it's not sticking that badly to your fingers is what I did. And then just kind of make it into a nice little ball like this. And then we're gonna, before we put it into the, I almost forgot, I'm so embarrassed. Before we put it into the Dutch oven, we're gonna put on some olive oil, and then we're gonna put on our cheese and jalapenos. We're gonna make a little X in there for ventilation so your bread doesn't just completely blow up. But yeah, so let's get that cheese and jalapeno on there. So you're gonna put on the remainder of the cheese. And I had a little extra Asiago cheese just from when we made some pasta. And so I threw that on there as well. So if you have some extra cheese you want to experiment putting on top of this, go for it. The Asiago ended up being delicious, so I'm glad that I did it. And so I have a nice sharp knife that I'm just kind of scoring the top, making a little X. There we go. Nice and scored. Did I do it right? I don't know. It's my first time making bread. So yeah, so you're gonna do that, and then you're gonna do some little coins of the jalapeños, and you're gonna put, you're just gonna put those on there, just like this. You can just don't have to worry about removing the seeds on these at all, and just kind of tap it in there, a little tap, tap, taparoo, and then once you're done with this part, then we're gonna put it into that Dutch oven, and then, oh, I forgot, oh my gosh. While you're doing this, you need to have your Dutch oven in the oven preheated at 450 degrees. You want to heat up your Dutch oven first. Woo! Read the directions, don't just watch the video. And so you're going to put this into a very hot Dutch oven. So, whew, glad I remembered. read the instructions, people. So yeah, there you go. That's why I'm not touching it without those little cute oven mitts. There you go. And then you put it in there. You're going to put the lid on, and then we're going to put this into the oven for 30 minutes covered, and then 20 minutes uncovered. And you just wait till it's browned up like that, and just delicious. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to then take it out of the Dutch oven, and you're going to put it in onto a nice cooling rack, and then let it cool for at least an hour. And then once that's done, you can get to cutting. And I'll tell you what, that's a beautiful loaf of bread. And then you're just gonna cut this bad boy up. So I think I talk about this in the outro part of this video, the eating part, but this bread made the most delicious bread for grilled cheese sandwich. It was unreal. It was so delicious. So it turned out great. I was really excited that it turned out good because I'd never made bread before. So this is probably a good starter bread. It wasn't hard at all to make, and it just turned out delicious, and it makes your whole house smell absolutely amazing. So now for my favorite part of the video. All right, now for my favorite part of the video. I get to eat the delicious bread that we just made. What can I say? You know, making bread isn't like a super quick process. You gotta proof it, you have to let it rise, kind of the same thing, proof, rise, whatever. But it is so worth it. The nice thing about it too is just a bunch of things you can do with this bread. In this case, for this video, I toasted it, put some cream cheese on it, and essentially almost you have like a jalapeno popper bread. It's really good. So let's try it. I don't even want to talk anymore. I'm really hungry. All right, here we go. That is really good. If you love jalapeno poppers, that's literally, like I just said, that's literally that's the flavor you get with the cream cheese with this bread. And I made a grilled cheese sandwich with this, just out of this world. I used this bread, the jalapeno cheddar bread. I did some cream cheese, did some American cheese, some cheddar cheese. It was really cheesy. Then we added some delicious caramelized onions. And let me tell you, that was the greatest grilled cheese sandwich I've ever had. So you bite into it, you immediately get the jalapenos because there's jalapenos just throughout. You get a little bit of that cheese and just a tiny bit of spice. Not crazy, but just get a little bit of spice there, which makes for a fantastic, you don't get it in bread very often. You don't get a piece of bread like, oh, that's some spicy bread. It's just, it's interesting to take a bite of bread and have a little bit of spice in there. It's just fantastic. There's nothing more I can say. Make it. It's not hard. It lasts you for a few days, and there's just a bunch of different things you can do with it. Make a breakfast sandwich out of this. Oh my gosh. So you can make so many great things with this bread, and it wasn't super hard to make. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Party Food Hero. Go to the website, partyfoodhero.com, for all the recipes. There's recipes that are on the website that aren't on the YouTube page. So go check those out. Check out all the other videos we have. We have a bunch of different videos. So there's no reason you shouldn't be making delicious food for yourself, for your family, for your friends, whoever. No excuse. There you go. And the nice thing about partyfoodhero.com is it's a very easy website to navigate. You type in the recipe or you scroll through the different pictures, see one that looks good, you click on it, and magically the recipe's right there. You don't have to try and find where the recipe's at. Like, has anyone ever really read the entire article that people always seem to put before the recipe shows up? No one ever reads that. I get it, it's for, so you rank higher in Google or whatever. Yeah. Recipe websites are the worst, so I made mine super easy. You find the recipe, it's right there. You don't have to read through a bunch of stuff. There you go. So, there you go. Make this bread. You're not going to regret it. You're going to love it. And remember, be Party Food Hero. I'm telling you, this bread is just, it's unreal. It's really good.
Be the Party Food Hero.
So good.